CTC Software is excited to bring you a BIM Suites Learning Series application overview. Hi, I'm Adam Hamilton, and in this video, we will look at CTC essentials everyone should have. For over 15 years, CTC has developed tools that improve efficiency and save our users time. So, whether looking at headlines on a news feed or a free sample at the grocery store, a small taste can bring the curious in for a closer look. Now, along with the premium offerings of our Project, Manager, and Batch Suites, CTC Software provides a collection of complementary tools meant to entice new users or complement those who have already subscribed to our toolset. Whether you're new to CTC Software or have been a repeat customer, join us in a demonstration of user workflows using our free tools. As we go along, some of the things we're going to take a look at are using the BIM Batch Suite to collect families from projects and then bulk push them out to different models across your organization. Then we're going to take a look at BIM Manager Suite and how we can use it to clean models up for transfer or archive, and then use our family tools for some quick house cleaning. Next, we're going to look at the BIM Project Suite to bring CAD details in, arrange them on a sheet, and then renumber them for a clean deliverable. Now, lastly, we're going to take a look at any of the remaining tools we have time for, and then the individual capabilities of our free offerings. Our first stop is going to be with the Batch Suite, which revolves around automation and performing batch processes. Tools we're going to be looking at are Family Exporter and Family Loader. So let's jump over to Revit. Now, on the CTC Productivity tab, you'll see our Batch Suite tools. In here, I've isolated our free tools on the ribbon. First, our Family Exporter. Now, the Family Exporter collects all the loadable families in your project, and with some searching or grouping, lets you select and export a selection of families to your machine or network. In this case, I'm going to look for families including CTC, and this has gone through and identified several different apps and tags and annotations that I can then group together, define a folder, and export to. This is hugely useful when if you get repeat clients or have developed a set of families. This could be tags, annotations, standards, sometimes client-specific families. It's often that over the course of a project, little by little, family here, family there, that these collections build up, and it's not until project close that we can collect them all. So this is a good way to grab anything we may have made over the course of a project. Now, once those are exported out to a folder, we may say to ourselves, geez, I want to be able to push them into different projects I might be working on. So then we can take a look at our Family Loader. Family Loader tool lets you bulk insert families into many projects. And with that, we can take a look at adding our different projects from different locations. First, we can say, hey, I have this location. This could be on your network where I have lots of projects saved. In this case, I can go through and select a couple different projects, add, hit OK. We also have the ability to add projects from BIM 360. And so with that selection, it will pull up my BIM 360 projects, or ACC. And there I can choose a project or more. And here you'll see we've added a BIM 360 project, and then say, hey, I've edited these families, maybe I've updated some standards, and I need to push these out into other projects. So where are those families? Let's go add them. And inside my folder, I pushed out to my demo set some family exports. And here I have a selection of those CTC families that I can grab. And using the options we have defined, we can push those out. I'm going to hold off from showing that here because opening individual projects, pushing multiple families could take a little bit of time. But the automation allows you to batch suite, push out content into multiple projects, saving you time and effort. Now, these are excellent little assistants in our batch collection and pushing out. And so I invite you to take a look at them. Our next step we're going to look at is our BIM Manager Suite. Now, these tools are meant to help manage over several different projects, and in that aspect of it, it's about cleanup. This particular workflow is about using the Revision Cloud Remover and our Project Cleaner to clean out and prepare projects for transfer or reuse. Hop back into my Revits, and this time we're going to go to our Management tab, and you'll see these light colored tools indicative of our complementary set. And our first stop is going to be the Revision Cloud Remover. Now, the Revision Cloud Remover is a neat little utility that can collect and remove all or some of the revision clouds in your project. The utility doesn't have to fumble through views on sheet or placed in view. It doesn't care about visibility graphics to be able to locate the clouds and then with a click remove them. So through this dialog box, now these are generically named, but I've worked on several projects that have tens, not 20s of revisions over the course of a project, especially large projects. And at the end of the project, they're, whether you're trying to save that archival version or send it to somebody else, we got to purge out, we got to delete those revision clouds. And a lot of times the trick is going from sheet to find them, to the view. Is it on sheet? Is it on view? But a lot of times they're either hidden or small, you can't find them. It can be a pain. And so just being able to say, look, you know what, I'm just going to grab these. I don't even need to keep them on sheet, just wholesale, remove, click, poof, gone. And so it'll run through, and now all my revision clouds and all my revisions on sheet in this particular case are gone. And with those revision clouds now removed, I can switch over to my Project Cleaner and remove and purge large assortments of element types. So from my Project Cleaner, let this parse up through my project and collect all these elements. And from here, it could be that if you are taking an old model and prepping for a new project build out, it could be used for clearing views, sheets, and images. Now, if I'm going to be sending the model to a partner or a contractor, maybe another company requested the BIM to link into their project, you might want to wholesale purge views and sheets, cleaning them out before sending away. And so just as take a little stroll through here, again, views and sheets, You can select either by category or just say all, same thing, schedules, 1 or 2 schedules. Maybe there were some custom ones you built and it's like, hey, we don't want to keep these. So boop, 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 we could remove them. Could be links. Want to cut some links, or imported CAD. Oh no, we want to get rid of that CAD. Before we send this on, we can remove that. Even things through the course of a project. People may have made some custom view templates you don't like, maybe added in some custom selections. Oh, that's awful. Let's get rid of these. And so we can purge those out. Speaking of the purge button, all this does is actually pulls up the native purge command of Revit. So once you've purged or deleted out those elements, you can come in and select and purge. And this gets it all nice and clean. So these utilities are excellent helpers when managing model cleanup for, again, storage, distribution, or reusing for the next phase of a project. Now our next stop in the BIM Suites collection is our Project Suite offerings. Now the Project Suite is meant to enhance the daily functions of our production teams. And so we'll look at how a couple of tools can streamline bringing CAD details into our project, and how we can use our alignment tools to align views on sheets. And then we can take a look at our ever popular renumbering tool to renumber all those things. And so we're going to hop over back into our Revits. And again, on our productivity tab, we have our green tools here, the BIM Project Suite, and I've collapsed our premium offerings as there's quite a few, but we're going to take a look at our complementary tools here. Now our first stop we're going to look at is Detail Link. Now Detail Link is a nifty little utility that can grab and insert DWGs or images into your Revit model. Now I understand different companies have different feelings regarding the insertion or linking of CAD, and I get it, but we've had time again, we've had to bring in frame details, lighting information, equipment suppliers, and they send CAD details to us, and we don't always have the time to Revitize them. And so they need to find their way into our project. It happens. And so from here, we can add detail files. And so I've already gone through and exported a selection of CAD. And here you'll see this list, to which case you can select all, select some, add selected, and then same thing. If there are images you need to bring in, say you've gone through and you're going to build up a interiors schedule or a lighting schedule, and you want like little swatch images of the equipment or the lighting, and you want to throw them on a sheet, it's a great way to bulk bring in a lot of those elements before you drop them down onto a sheet. But then you have some options here, whether you want to create new drafting views for what you're bringing in or use existing elements. You might even want to, if you're don't have functional reusable names, you can always enter new names per each element you're bringing in. Now all the DWG options apply, so whether you're importing or linking and how you're bringing it in, origin to origin, center to center, whether you're keeping colors or you're going to switch to black and white to be able to print right away. This tool has the ability to set those as we import or link them in. Now I've already done that because this can take some time because it's got to parse through. But then once they're in your project, you can drop them on a sheet. Now, once we have details brought into our sheet, we may need to get them all nice and aligned. And so we've created a view aligner tool. It's this neat little widget. Now there are some auto Revit alignment tools, usually kind of a center to center, or it can kind of pick up certain certain levels, so it can kind of do some a pretty good job. But what this tool is based off of viewports, also aligning sheet to sheet. It can also align grid to grid. And so when you need to line things up in a pinch, this quick alignment tool, it's pretty sweet. It's got some juice here. And so just as an example, this detail is out of place. And if we needed to, we can just align and align and get the views into alignment. If we were to swap over to, say, a section, again, our level align by levels tool allows us to select a particular view, and if there's a level to which you need to align by, in this case, say we want to align by level 1, regardless of the scale, we can now start to align across level to level to level. And again, it's going to pick up any level in the project to be able to do that. Lastly, it has the ability to align across sheets. And so in this particular case, I have this view and I want to align that view based off of, in this particular case, I know this bottom corner is K7, and so I'll say K7 and hit okie dokie. And so now if I jump to a second page where I have this view completely out of place, by selecting it, it will align it sheet to sheet based off of that grid intersection. And so great little tool to be able to get these all aligned. Now, what can happen is once you have views dropped on sheet, of course, we're not really caring about numbering when we start. You don't need to be so deliberate as you're bringing things in, because our industry leading renumbering tool gives us significant control and flexibility when renumbering views on sheets, including our auto swap function, which completely dispenses the need to pre-number views to avoid conflict. Huge issue if you're trying to do it manually. 1, 2, 3, oh, this number's already 4. You got to go find 4, renumber it to something else, and then you can come back. Well, with our auto swap detail, we can start our sequence, and whether we're starting with 1 or adding prefix, maybe we want to prefix by a floor or by a department, you can add that in, and this can do that for you. But then it's just a matter of starting and saying, hey, this is out of order, but if I wanted to start from the top or from the bottom, doesn't matter. And I can say, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And those are now renumbered on sheet. Now, this tool is great because it doesn't just do our workflow here was to talk about detail numbers, but it also has the ability to use that same auto swap function across things like rooms. And again, the prefixing or starting with, so I say I'm in a particular building and this is building F, and so I can prefix F and start at 100 and iterate through that. Has the ability to do areas and spaces with doors. Our tool has the ability to do sequence numbering, 100, 101, 102, but also do room-based numbering, where it reaches into those objects and grabs the to-room from room parameter and allows us to swap those numbers using that. There's also a general. Now, the neat thing about this is general means any element type using whichever parameter value that you want to renumber by. And you can define your prefix or sequence and your starting number, and again, auto swapping in case you need to. So if you had some equipment you needed to number and you started with EQ1, EQ2, 3, 4, it's just a matter of a few clicks. So this renumbering tool I've used for over 10 years in production, and if I'm renumbering something, I've always used this tool. It's a great tool. And so that is the workflows I wanted to define using the BIM Project Suite. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was our remaining free tools. We have a little bit of time left here that we didn't talk about. And so we have our length calculator, which is great for establishing lengths of pipe, duct, cable tray, conduit, and that includes or excludes fittings. It can get you your segment counts. So great little quick tool for defining the overall length and elements in a system. We have our quick select tool. So some of us old CAD guys, AutoCAD had a quick select, and it was a great way to be able to grab elements. For those of you who have lucky enough never have touched AutoCAD, really the idea is you have to be able to find it to grab it, right? However, using quick select, you can apply to the entire project. Maybe you're just looking for something in this view, or you've selected a bunch of stuff because they're stacked on top of each other. And so you just want to filter through these elements. But then I can say, utilize a filter that I've already pre-created, or let's take a look at a category of elements. Say I'm looking for doors in this project, and I can sort or filter, again, optional, if there's a particular parameter. So if I'm looking for function and exterior, or if I'm looking for, say I have some equipment and I'm looking for a prefix, I can look for a parameter. And then to create our selection set, we have 3 options. We can either add to the selection set, because this allows you to go through and say, hey, I want these things. Maybe I'm filtering for furniture, but then I also want to select at the same time a furniture system. These are 2 different categories. I can grab those together. Maybe I want to grab plumbing fixtures and piping elements. These are, again, 2 different categories. And so I can build up a selection set. Now from that, we're going to have all sorts of things. And so I can manually uncheck based on type, or again, based on parameter, I could find elements that maybe appear in schedule with an operator equals no, and I can remove them from this set. Now it still keeps everything I have on the right, but if you noticed, I can remove elements from the set. So this allows you to grab and filter and kind of sort through and be selective with what you want to select. And you got the ability to save out in case you want to come back to it. Maybe it's something you repeatedly have to look for. And so quick select, very powerful tool, complimentary for you to use as you wish. Now, we've gone through most of our tools. We do have some others. There's another by default installed with all of our CTC tools that most people overlook. And a lot of times we get Revit families, Revit projects sent to us. We don't know what version they need to be open in, and Autodesk is not good at telling us how to find that. And so once installed any CTC product, from the right-click menu, and this is just from your normal Windows Explorer, under show more options if you're in Windows 11, or it should just be right on top in Windows 10, you'll see Revit properties. May never have seen this before, but if you have, and if you've clicked it, you'll see by selecting it, you'll see the full file name and the version it's saved in. So if it wasn't named, if it was a generic name, such as this one, you can see what version it was saved in, and you have the ability to open it from that version. It'll launch it for you, or at least now you know, and so you can take a look. And so that's one of our overlooked functions that we've included with CTC tools for quite some time. With that, I wish to thank you for joining us for another CTC production. Visit our website at ctcsoftware.com for more information, or revisit this recording and others like it on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe for new content. Thank you.